without her name on the ballot. Neither can go out and vote wisely unless the name Inday Sara Duterte Carpio appears as a candidate in the two presidential race, Pilipinas. A printout of the Facebook post dated September 29, 2021 is here to attach.
May I know what's happening to you, Mr. Madriaga? You seem to be crying. Are you crying?
I just remember one moment.
Are you crying?
I just,
You are nearly crying.
I'm,
May I just put it on record that while reading these portions of the affidavit, the resource person, Ramil Madriaga, is breaking into tears. Can we go back to where you felt frustrated and you're nearly crying? Which part of your affidavit is that? Can we go back to that?
number 46 po, Madam Chair.
Number 46. Let's go back to number 46. Okay, you may read from 46, Mr. Madriaga.
On the same day, I posted the screenshot of our video conference on my Facebook account with the caption just telling her I cannot vote intelligently without her name on the ballot. Neither can go out and vote wisely unless the name Inday Sara Duterte Carpio appears as a candidate in the 2022 presidential race.
Would you like
47.
to say something about why you are crying on this part of the affidavit? You may proceed, Mr. Madriaga. Please read your supplemental affidavit.
Opo, salamat po, Madam Chair. Supplemental affidavit. I, Ramil L. Madriaga of legal age, Filipino and with address at care of Annex 2, BJMP Camp Bagong Diwa, Taguig City, after having been duly sworn in accordance with law, do hereby state: 1. I am currently a detainee at Camp Bagong Diwa, Taguig City, for charges of kidnapping, criminal case number RMNL-22-05157-CR and R-MNL-22-05158, pending before the Regional Trial Court, Branch 21, RTC Manila. 2. On November 29, 2025, I executed an affidavit which was subscribed and sworn to before Attorney Cynthia Viñas Pentonal on the same day. In my affidavit, I narrated my involvement with then President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, PRRD, his daughter Sara Duterte, Sara, other members of their family, and their close associates. More specifically, I provided a personal account of the various works I did for the aforementioned individuals, including campaign and organizing activities, intelligence gathering and sabotage, and transportation of large sums of money under the direct instructions of either PRD or Sara. 3. With my consent, my affidavit was submitted and referred to the Office of the Ombudsman through a letter dated December 15, 2025. 4. After I executed my affidavit, I learned that Sara denied any affiliation with me and that she has no personal or professional relationship with me. She added that she has never given me any instruction of any kind. 5. I received through my counsel a copy of complaint dated March 4, 2026, filed by Sara or BP Sara herself before the Office of the City Prosecutor, Taguig City, for perjury. In her complaint, BP Sara reiterated that she has no personal or professional relationship with me. In fact, prior to the dissemination of the Madriaga affidavit, BP Sara had no recollection of knowing, meeting, or interacting with me. 6. However, her denial of any affiliation with me is absolutely false. She lied under oath in her perjury complaint against me. Hence, I decided to execute a supplemental affidavit providing further details on the narration I made in my previous affidavit with additional accounts of other orders, tasks, or works given to me by either PRD or Sara or BP Sara. Engagement activities with President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. 7. Prior to the 2016 national elections campaign, I was working for then Congressman Roylo Goles as one of his political officers specializing in intelligence gathering and sabotage operations. Congressman Goles decided to support the candidacy of PRRD. Hence, He introduced me and endorsed my services to PRRD during their meeting at the latter's residence in Taal Street, Bangkal, Davao City, around the 2015 or early 2016. He mentioned to PRRD that I was previously under detention and that I later survived death row. Congressman Goles also added that I am his #1 asset in the National Security Council during his time as National Security Advisor. 9. When PRRD was elected president, Cong Goles' brother, Ferdinand Goles, was appointed as a member of the Board of Directors or the Basis Conversion and Development Authority, BCDA. On the other hand, PRRD directed me to serve as a counterintelligence agent for the National Security Council. 10. However, I was never under the employ of the Office of the President or any government agency. Instead, I was directly employed by PRRD. I received my salary from a certain Canlas, a PNP officer, previously from Davao, at the start of every month in the amount of 100,000 pesos to 150,000 pesos in cash. 11. As part of my duties, PRRD specifically instructed me to monitor, operate, and sabotage former Senator Trillanes. However, PRRD was apprehensive in ordering the assassination of Senator Trillanes because of the latter's support and contact in the armed forces of the Philippines. 12. Sometime in 2018, PRRD asked VP Sara, to go to his home in Taal Street, Bangkal, Davao City, to discuss upcoming local elections in Davao City, where VP Sara was going to run for re-election as mayor. During this meeting, PRRD introduced me to Sara and told me, "Ram, ikaw na bahala kay Inday." Since then, I've frequently met and discussed with VP Sara, then Mayor Sara, regarding various matters. However, she gave me strict instructions that all conversations should be done as much as possible by call and minimize text messages. 13. Furthermore, PRRD also asked me to profile individuals associated with VP Sara, then again Mayor Sara, because she is his favorite among his children. PRRD wanted VP Sara, in politics instead of Paulo Duterte Pulong and Sebastian Duterte Baste, who he characterized as baliw and bading, respectively. Number 14. Sometimes in 2021, PRRD gave me 25 million to purchase high-end motorcycles for Sara's use while she is in Metro Manila and other ordinary motorcycles for our group operations. 15. Hence, I bought two 2021 model Harley-Davidson motorcycles from a dealership in Green Hills, EDSA for around 2,500,000 pesos, inclusive of accessories, and around 2 million pesos exclusive accessories, respectively. Both Harley-Davidson motorcycles were placed under the name of my son. I also purchased two 2021 model Ducati motorcycles from a dealership in Katipunan, Quezon City for around 3,500,000 pesos and around 2,300,000 pesos, respectively. In addition, I also bought accessories for these Ducati motorcycles in the total amount of 500,000 pesos. Both the Ducati motorcycles were placed under my name. 17. Lastly, I also purchased 7 Yamaha NMAX motorcycles for the operation of Initiative for Social Justice Innovation and Progress Pilipinas, or ISIP Pilipinas. The remaining money was distributed to my colleagues in ISIP Pilipinas. 18. All purchases of these motorcycles, including the aforementioned accessories, were paid in cash using the money given to me by PRRD. Custom magnetic lifter transaction with Attorney Manscarpio. Sometime in 2017 or 2018, PRRD told me to assist the husband of Sara, Attorney Manasseh Manscarpio, regarding a problem with the Bureau of Customs. However, no specific details were provided by PRRD. Thereafter, Attorney Mans called me. We later decided to meet in front of a coffee shop in Burgos Circle in Bonifacio Global City, Taguig City. During our conversation, he asked me to assist in facilitating the release of what he called construction equipment, which was plugged and confiscated by the Bureau of Customs. Attorney Mans gave me a contact person, a female lawyer, to coordinate with it regarding the BOC problem. After 2 days, I went to the BOC to meet the female lawyer to discuss the release of construction equipment. This time, I learned that the construction equipment was actually magnetic lifters. The same were confiscated because it contained a large amount of shabu. However, the female lawyer informed me that it was difficult to release the same because it was a hot item. 22. I reported this to Attorney Manson. We meet again in the same spot in BGC, Taguig City. This was the last time we met regarding the issue. Later, I learned that the content of the magnetic lifters is at least 500 kilograms of shabu worth 4.3 billion pesos were mysteriously missing. Dummy accounts and bank transaction of PRD. Despite only earning 100,000 pesos or to 150,000 pesos from my services to PRD, millions of pesos went through bank accounts opened for me by close associates of PRD. I admit that during PRD's term as president, I served as a dummy for the transfer of large amount of money. These transfers were made through bank accounts that were opened under my name, which include but are not limited to the following: China Bank, Legazpi Village, Makati City; China Bank, Main Makati City; China Bank near the power station at Ayala, Makati City; PNB Makati Metropolitan Avenue Branch, Makati City; an unknown bank in Pasig City, Sirey Mudo.
If I may interrupt, Mr. Madriaga, COMSEC, kindly continue flashing on the screen the pages of the affidavit from where the resource person is reading. And kindly speak closer to the microphone, Mr. Madriaga,
Opo,
please.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Please continue.
25. However, I have never personally opened these accounts or appeared before the said banks to process any application in relation thereto. These were opened by people close to PRRD, who informed me that money will be transferred to these accounts for intelligence operation and for laundering. I was later instructed to sign an entire checkbook where the amounts and pays are left blank. I agreed to do this because at the time I had complete trust in PRD and his close associates. 26. On some occasions, PRD would call me to inform me that someone from the aforementioned bank would contact me to confirm a withdrawal or encashment of checks. There were also instances that where PRD would instruct me to personally visit the said banks to pick up the money and bring it to Malacanang or to the designated individuals. I distinctly remember that PRRD directed me on 3 separate occasions to pick up 100 million from a bank inside the mall in Lubao, Pampanga, which were all delivered to Malacanang. On another incident, I was informed by PRRD that the 2 land bank managers' check which were to be delivered to one of our safe houses in Eastwood, Quezon City, in the amounts of 84,200,000 pesos and 4,800,000 pesos, respectively, were issued under my name. Copies of the 2 land bank managers' checks are hereby attached as annexes A and A-1. 28. To prove the aforementioned allegations, I am willing to execute an affidavit, authorization, or any other document, and to perform all acts necessary for Committee on Justice of the House of Representatives or the courts to access the aforementioned bank accounts and all other bank accounts under my name. Term sharing and destabilization efforts. 29. Sometime in November 2021, PRD mentioned to me that Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. will run for the president while Sara will serve as his running mate. PRD added that a few months ago, BBM and Senator Amy Marcos visited him to discuss a possible alliance to the 2022 national elections. During this meeting, BBM was able to convince PRD to have Sara as BBM's vice president. However, they also agreed that by 2025, BBM will voluntarily step down to give way for a Sara presidency. After Sara took her oath as vice president, PRRD had a discussion with me with retired generals of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, where I was also present regarding all the possible scenarios for unseating BBM by 2025. In case he reneged on his promise, the general objective was to ensure that PBBM will only serve less than 4 years of his term as president, so that Sara, upon assumption to the presidency, will still be eligible for the presidency in 2028. 31. I remember that one of the plans considered was to sabotage BBM's administration by using some of BBM's own men, either recommended by PRRD for appointment or allied with the Dutertes, to reveal supposed corruption issues that will serve as a precursor for an impeachment complaint. 32. In the event that BBM will not voluntarily step down or hand over the presidency to Sara, extraordinary measures of overthrowing BBM will be considered, which include assassination, mass resignation of government officials, civil disobedience, and even an armed assault of Malacanang Palace. It was also considered by PRRD to arrange assassination or armed hits of several government officials in order to cause massive civil unrest. The resulting civil unrest will be used as basis to organize a group of military officers to stage a coup. 33. One of my assignments was to recruit civil groups, schools, clubs, fraternities, criminal groups, and syndicates. Inday Sara is my president ISIP at 2022 national elections campaign. 34. In 2020, I was instructed by PRRD and Sara to help form a group to support Sara's candidacy for president in the 2022 national elections. Hence, I helped establish and register a non-profit corporation called Initiative for Social Justice Innovation and Progress, or ISIP Pilipinas, Incorporated. But to us supporters of Sara, ISIP actually stands for Inday Sara is my president. I helped establish ISIP together with some friends of BP Sara and alumni of San Sebastian College of Law, SSC Law, including Assistant Special Prosecutor Ryan Ray Kilala of the Office of the Ombudsman and his wife, Aurea Fortuna Kilala. A screenshot of one of ISIP's video conference meetings where Sara and Attorney Ryan were present is here to attach as Annex B. A photo of Attorney Reynold Monsayac wearing an Inday Sara is my president is here to attach as Annex B-1. 35. I got close with Attorney Ryan, who was previously a professor of Sara and former associate dean of SSC Law. He shared with me that Sara was not particularly good in school, was often struggling with her academics, and habitually rude and violent to other students. Hence, Attorney Ryan used his influence in San Sebastian College of Law to ensure that Sara received passing grades despite her poor academic performance. 36. Attorney Ryan and his wife became quite close to me and my family that they agreed to serve as godparents in my son's wedding. A photo of Attorney Ryan and Rhea taken during my son's wedding is here to attach as Annex C. Shortly after we organized ISIP, I was informed by PRRD that funding will be made available for the activities of ISIP through the contribution of his friends and supporters. One of those friends and supporters is Lin Wei Zhong, who was the financial officer of Parmalee Pharmaceuticals. Sometime in June or July 2021, PRRD informed me that someone will call me to directly coordinate the turnover of 175 million to fund ISIP's organizing efforts, promotional and campaign activities. Thereafter, a man called me to proceed to the basement parking of Seda Hotel, Quezon City, to pick up the said amount. Thus, I hurriedly went to the place with my cousin Rosendo Madriaga. As I recall, the money was placed inside several large backpacks and bags, which were handed to me at basement of parking of Seda Hotel, Quezon City. I loaded the same to my white Toyota Land Cruiser. Lin Wei Xiong was present when I received the said amount together with two other individuals. He then asked me where will the money be used. I informed him that this will be used to fund election of Sara, to which he replied, good, good. 40. I directly brought this money to my house for safekeeping. Thereafter, I used this money to fund the campaign activities of ISIP across the country and to establish, organize, and maintain its chapters for the purpose of promoting Sara's presidential bid in 2022 national election. Some of these chapters include Quezon, Binangonan, Bicol, Antipolo, Quezon City, Zambales, Leyte, Photos of EC Pilipinas activities are here to attach as annexes D to D-7. 41. The expenses for the activities include costs for merchandise, travel, accommodations, rental fees for offices, lump sum distribution to identified leaders who in turn pledged to organize for SARA in their respective communities, and allowances of volunteers and organizers. However, upon the request of Attorney Ryan, I personally delivered 15 million to him in his office at the Office of the Ombudsman. From time to time, PRD would talk to me to check if there is still sufficient funding for ISIP. When the initial amount funding ran out, I promptly informed him and he directed me to get another 100 million pesos from Maestrado Lim, who we call Tanda, at the Hyatt Regency in Bonifacio Global City, Taguig City. The money was placed in several bags and were handed to me by Maestrado Lim. 43. I distinctly remember Maestrado Lim because he previously mentioned during one of our meetings in Davao City that he hated Filipinos in general, and Filipino businessmen in particular, stating that peste yung mga Pilipino, yung mga businessman walang kwenta. Aside from Lin Weijong and Maestrado Lim, I also remember that Michael Yang, a very close friend of PRRD who was frequently in Malacanang, also provided financial support to EC Pilipinas. 45. On September 29, 2021, and despite our extensive campaign activities, I was informed by Sara that she will no longer run for president and will instead run as BBM's vice president in 2022 elections. This decision caused deep frustration among the members of ECIP. Hence, we organized a video conference with Sara where I personally asked her to reconsider her decision, as we have already poured some substantial effort toward promoting her candidacy for president through ECIP. During our video conference, I also noticed the painting I personally gave her as a gift. A screenshot of our video conference is here to attach as Annex A. 46. On the same day, I posted the screenshot of our video conference of my Facebook account with the caption, just telling her I cannot vote intelligently without her name on the ballot. Neither can go out and vote wisely unless the same Inday Sara Duterte Carpio appears as a candidate in the 2022 presidential race, EC Pilipinas. A printout of the Facebook post dated September 29, 2021 is here to attach as Annex F.
Mr. Madriaga, would you like to drink water first
Yes, Your Honor. If I
to
may.
give you some relief? This is quite a lengthy affidavit. Please provide him some water.
Thank you po, Madam Chair. Can I proceed na, Madam Chair?
Yes, you may.
46. On the same day, I posted the same screenshot of our video conference on my Facebook account with the caption, just telling her I cannot vote intelligently without her name on the ballot. Neither can go out and vote wisely unless the name Inday Sara Duterte Carpio appears as a candidate in the two presidential race, Pilipinas. A printout of the Facebook post dated September 29, 2021 is here to attach.
May I know what's happening to you, Mr. Madriaga? You seem to be crying. Are you crying?
I just remember one moment.
Are you crying?
I just,
You are nearly crying. May I just put it on record that while reading these portions of the affidavit, the resource person, Ramil Madriaga, is breaking into tears. Can we go back to where you felt frustrated and you're nearly crying? Which part of your affidavit is that? Can we go back to that?
number 46 po, Madam Chair.
Number 46. Let's go back to number 46. Okay, you may read from 46, Mr. Madriaga.
On the same day, I posted the screenshot of our video conference on my Facebook account with the caption just telling her I cannot vote intelligently without her name on the ballot. Neither can go out and vote wisely unless the name Inday Sara Duterte Carpio appears as a candidate in the 2022 presidential race.
Would you like
47.
to say something
No,
about why you are crying on this part of the affidavit?
hindi naman, malungkot lang po.
Malungkot. Okay, please proceed.
Madam Chair, can we allow the witness to please?
Honorable Dumogan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can we allow the witness to please get his
Yes.
composure before he will continue?
Yes, we are temporarily suspending to give time to Mr. Madriaga to console himself.